Hi, kids.
Hello, sir.
What are you up to?
We're doing target practice. We're going to be real good shots. Someday, we'll get those pigs who shot Dad.
How awful. These children must have seen the cleanup brigades shoot their father out there. Poor kids. And how is the target practice going?
Bad at the moment. We need a real target, or we'll never be able to hit those soldiers.
Yeah, we need a better target. Hey, quit talking to that rat. He's not one of us. You know what Mom and Dad say about the people in the camp. Leave my brother alone. Get lost, rat.
Yeah, you're not one of us. Get lost, rat.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to pick them up. I'm sure it took the kids a long time to collect all those rocks for their target practice. Besides, I bet my aim is worse than theirs. One of the many sentry towers surrounding the camp. And inside each and every one of them, there's a sniper, armed to the teeth and itching to shoot something.
Alright, gotta get food. Means we gotta talk to Hunter.
It's the enormous fence around the perimeter of the camp. With surveillance from the towers and on the ground, this barbed wire fence intensifies the feeling of claustrophobia in here, making it even more suffocating. They're used and empty. Why would I want to refill these cans?
I'm fine.
Hi, Mike. So what brings you here?
I should be going.
Fine, Mike. Remember, dude, he was no question.
Hello again. What can I get for you?
What do you sell here?
Anything you can eat or drink. Anything that fits into a box or a bottle. For other types of goods, talk to the hunter directly. What do you need? Liquor, tobacco, food?
I could use some food.
You're in luck. We have some of these emergency food rations the authorities distributed among the inhabitants of the camp in the first weeks after the Great Wave. You know, a bunch of them just happened to fall into our hands. What do you have to offer in exchange?
Would a bottle of liquor do?
Let me see. It's a good brand of whiskey, but the bottle's been opened, and there's a lot missing. I'd take it, but I'd need something more.
I'm afraid I have nothing more that can interest you.
Too bad, pal. Come back with something more, and the food's yours. You know how it works. We accept everything. Cash, jewelry, liquor, tobacco.
Dozens of drums stacked chaotically. They belong to the hunter, which would suggest that they can't contain anything remotely legal. It's a thick cable that runs along that building's roof, but I can't see it very well from here. It's too high. Okay, here goes. It's impossible to budge these. Dented, dirty, and in pretty bad shape. In this corner of the camp, there are drums stored everywhere you look. This bright light leaves no doubt about where the entrance to the building is. There are some insects fluttering around it that end up getting scorched by the heat and dropping dead.
All right. I don't know what else to do.
Can I ask you a few questions?
I'll answer anything you want,
Yes,
as
yes.
long as
We
you
don't get near
don't
your
get
stuff.
near
Yeah.
my stuff.
Well,
Just be
Yes, yes. Not touch your stuff. Yeah.
this tangle of metal was a driver's door once upon a time. Neglect and rust have left it completely stuck. I'm afraid that the liquor won't help at all to unjam this door. The half-scrap remains of a sports car that looks like a collector's item. From the style, it must have been worth a pretty penny a long, long time ago. But now, I'm afraid it's just scrap metal. A bunch of shacks, trying valiantly to stay standing in a sea of mud and trash. I can't imagine how it must be to live in one of them. It's good old Rod, the person who's been taking care of me all this time. He's waiting for me to find the medicine for his son's disease. He promised to restore my identity if I do. It gives me the chills to think that he's putting Colin's life in my hands. Colin's mother. I can't imagine her anguish watching her son's life slipping away without being able to do anything. It's Colin, but dissolved. It's shocking to see one up close. I'm ashamed to admit that I'm afraid of catching it, but I'm glad there's a pane of glass between us right now. A box that used to hold Danish butter cookies. Probably the one mentioned in the notebook I found in the trailer's oven. God forgive us, but there's no future for us without him, was written there. A pile of frying pans, plates, and dirty silverware waiting to be washed. Ugh, this place smells like a cheap, greasy spoon. A depressing sight. A damp mattress on a bed frame and dirty, rumpled sheets. This is the bed where I've been convalescing all this time. With the glass in the door broken and that thick coating of grease lining it, I doubt anything's been baked in this oven for a long time. This oil lamp is the room's only source of light. The flickering of the flame makes the room look ghostly, like in a dream, more like in a nightmare. I'm not going to snuff out this oil lamp. This place looks sinister enough with light.
You bolted it closed. Yeah.
It's bolted from inside. Open or closed, this closet transmits the same sensation of decrepitude and neglect as the rest of the room, and the rest
Wow,
of the
it's
refugee camp.
Big word. Decrepitude. Right. Well, what the hell? Let's go over here again.
A thick wall of scrap metal, debris and rusty metal surrounds this place on all four sides. It's a good 20 feet high. I can't believe it manages to stay up. Cars, machinery, steel, cement, even the skeleton of an old construction crane. This place is a veritable cemetery of the industrial age. These guys have improvised a card table for their poker game by putting a plank on top of 2 old tires. There's no doubt that necessity has sharpened the resourcefulness of the people who live in the camp. A few lousy coins. They don't look like they're worth much, just a few loose pennies.
What exactly do you think you're doing? Just try putting those grubby little fingers on those coins, and we'll chop them off and use them for poker chips. Hey, will you quit bothering us already?
An enormous rusty tank designed to collect rainwater. Everything indicates that the Great Wave wiped out the concept of running water in one fell swoop, at least on this side of the fence. The wreck of an old ice cream truck. I don't reckon it's going anywhere without its wheels. It looks like the enormous skeleton of a beached whale.
Yeah, I don't... Shoot. Alright, so I need money. And I need food. Damn it. I have no idea.
In the distance, you can see the skyline of the city. It doesn't seem that far away. From what people say, things work somewhat better there. Could that be true? A quick glance at these tents is enough to make you realize how forsaken these poor people are, confined against their will inside the camp.
I have no idea what to do now. Nope, damn it.
Hey, Rat, I don't think that motorcycle belongs to you. Or at least I don't remember seeing your name on it anywhere. Am I mistaken?
Are you one of those people who have no respect for private property, bastard? Do you know what we do in this camp with people like you?
I'm beginning to get an idea. I was just curious about this thing. I'm stepping away. Clean and well-maintained. This bike is without a doubt the best-looking object in the entire refugee camp. Although, that's not saying much, considering the disastrous condition of everything around me. From here, I can see how the road leading out of the refugee camp splits into 3 paths. One leads to a kind of depression in the ground, another leads to a graded water outlet, and the third disappears into the distance, beyond the last hill. Could that be the road leading to the city? This is the barrier that vehicles pass through to get in and out of the camp. The soldiers keep it lowered and extremely well guarded. The wall of shame. The soldiers at the gate called it. This wall looks like it's witnessed a good number of executions, to say nothing of murders. A pool of blood mixed with mud marks the spot where that man, the mole, was shot. It gives me the chills. They may be able to kill with impunity, but it's still the scene of a crime.
I have no idea. Damn it.
Oh no! Here comes that sensation again. It's like floating in a dense liquid, while everything around me is transformed. Good God, I think I'm starting to lose my mind.
Hello, mister.
I still am.
I should be going up. Someone placed a bunch. Ugh. They smell like liquor and industrial oil. Oh, Jesus. The cocktail of odors is nauseating. Use this here? How? They're used and dented. I can't figure out how to use the cans with this.
Oh! I know. I know. Give the kids better targets.
Thank you. Now we'll really be able to become the best shots in the camp.
So now you're saying this rat isn't a rat?
No, I'm not. My name is Michael.
Hello, Michael.
So tell me, why do you want to throw rocks at those soldiers?
We have to get revenge. We're big boys now. And that's what we gotta do. Those pigs shot our dad. We heard him screaming. He's hurt real bad.
Mom said we'll never see him again.
damn pigs! My brother and I are gonna get them. All of them.
But when they were Dad's friends, you used to say you wanted to be a soldier when you grew up.
Shut up. That was before. I wish I could reach those watchtowers with my rocks.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That's not a bad idea. Something tells me that a little commotion along the barbed wire fence would be a good thing for everyone. I need your help, boys.
How can we help you, Michael?
I have to get something from inside your house. It's something I need so that I can help your father. Understand? But your mother is very agitated, and I need you to give me a hand with her. It's a mission.
What do you want us to do, Michael?
I need you to get your mother out of the house for a few minutes. Just long enough for me to go in and get what I need. Do you think you can do that?
Of course, we're big boys.
I'll owe you. I promise to give you a reward.
Okay, let's do it.
A mission.
I'm not gonna pick them up. Besides, I bet my aim is worse than theirs. Better not. I have no... Oh, my head! What the hell's going on? Oh, God! My head feels like it's gonna explode!
Michael, please, help us! Help us! Please, remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Repent! It's the sun! Was it our fault? Did we do it? Yes! We did it!
Enough! Please! Enough!
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it. Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Good God. What are these images? And that woman's voice. It's the same one that woke me up in the trailer. I'm trying to remember. Stop tormenting me. I hope Rod helps me find some answers. If not, I'll go mad. Absolutely mad.
Alright. I'll trade the cigarettes, tobacco, and the liquor for some food.
Hello again. What can I get for you?
I could use some food.
You're in luck. We have some of these among the inhabitants. You know, what do you have to...
I have this pack of cigarettes.
Virginia tobacco. There's not much of this in the camp. That's a good start. But it's not enough. The pack's been open and several cigarettes are missing. I'd need something more.
Would a bottle of liquor do?
Fantastic. I think that's a fair price. I'll take both of them. Here you go, pal. The food package is all yours. Enjoy it in good health.
Alright, now get out of here.
Here, this is what I promised you.
That's all the food you brought? This will barely feed us for 2 days.
Woman!
I'm sorry, it's very complicated getting more in the camp. I only wanted to show you that you can trust me, that I can help you.
That's what all you rats in this trash heap say? But in the end, only thing you're interested in is taking advantage of my husband and me.
I've held up my part of the bargain. Isn't that proof enough? Listen, let me have that pass to get out of the camp, and I promise I'll come back with the morphine you need to ease your husband's suffering.
Ah, okay. But you better hurry. Here.
What's this? A bracelet?
It's like an ID badge. Wear it and the soldiers will recognize you. It won't just get you out of the camp. It'll also help you avoid all kinds of problems with the army once you reach the city. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing by giving it to you. Just don't betray me, you rat. Bring me that morphine from my husband, and I promise ya, I'll give you lots of money in return. Much more money than you could earn in a lifetime in this shithole.
No, that's not necessary. We never said anything about money.
I have to know you're coming back. I don't trust any of you, and I know that money is the only thing that'll make you keep your word. All you camp rats are alike. Now get out of my sight, and don't make me regret this. And don't come back without my husband's morphine. There'll be a fat wad of cash waiting for you.
Okay.
We need that money to pay those dudes who got Rose trapped in the thingy.
I don't mean to bother you, but could I ask you a few questions?
Hey, it seems like we have a nosy rat in the camp.
I won't bother you any.
Get lost. Go through that gate, and I'll blow your head off with one shot, rat.
Do you need to get a closer look at what I have on my wrist?
Wait a minute. Look, he's got on one of those ID bracelets the camp moles wear. Those cockroaches are very useful to us in here. Lower your gun and let him leave.
You heard him. Get out of here, rat.
Impossible. It's beyond my reach. The bars are keeping me from getting there. A few yards away, I can see a great mass of trash, mud, and plant matter that accumulated in there in the years since this water outlet was last cleaned. Ugh. Even from here, I can smell the stench coming from inside. It looks like there are some chiseled stone structures sticking out of the water. What are they? The remains of columns, perhaps? And what are they doing sunk here in the middle of nowhere? It seems like a small fragment of one of them is loose. I can't reach it from here. Maybe I should find a way to get to the bottom of this enormous hole first. I suppose the rain has been flooding the pit little by little. This water is so dark you can't even see the bottom. It's the charred remains of a tree trunk, fighting to keep from being devoured by the enormous hole in the ground. For the moment, it's holding its own. It seems firmly rooted in the soil.
Alright, well, can't do anything with that.
So, I enter the city. It welcomes me with its most merciless and bitter grimace. What I see before my eyes is not what I expected. Doomsday made it here, too, even if no one in the refugee camp knows it yet. Damn it. The city looks as bruised and battered by the catastrophe as the rest of us.
Act 2, Doomsday City.
Help me, please! Help me! Don't let them find me in the street after curfew. They'll take me to the refugee camp. Help me, please! But don't make any noise. There's a patrol just round the corner.
But what is it you need me to do?
It's almost curfew. I need a place to sleep. I need a place to hide, or they'll send me to the refugee camp. Don't you understand?
What is all this about a curfew?
At curfew, the soldiers want the streets cleared. And the way they see it, if you're out on the street after curfew, it means that you've got nowhere to go. You don't have a home. You don't belong here. And that makes you a rat. And so they take you to the refugee camp. I can't go to the camp. Understand? I can't go there.
You need a roof over your head, and you don't have anywhere to go.
I used to, but it doesn't exist anymore. I owned an apartment a few blocks from here. The block was badly damaged by the Great Wave, but it was still standing.
And what happened to your home?
This morning we had to evacuate the area in a hurry. We ran out in the streets with whatever we had on. Apparently, the foundation was starting to crumble. And a few hours later, all that was left of my home was a pile of smoking rubble, with 40 years of memories buried beneath it. But I can't let them take me to the camp.
Eyebrows out.
I need to get into another house before the curfew. Please, help me.
Okay, give me those bolt cutters. I'll see what I can do.
This house is empty, but the army has sealed it off. If I can just get this padlock off before curfew,
Give me
I'll
the
be
bolt
safe.
cutters, you dummy.
I need to get in here. But please, don't make too much noise. If the soldiers find us, they won't hesitate to kill us.
Impossible. I'm sorry. I can't do anything with this.
I need to get in there. I need to get in.
I'm looking for a place. Something like a pharmaceutical warehouse. Would you know anything about that?
I don't really know. There's a small medical center just outside the city limits. I suppose you mean that, right? They built it in a hurry, just knocked it together after the Great Wave. No one really knows what it's for, but there are vehicles going in and out of the place all the time. Whatever they're doing in there, they're keeping it very secret. Not even my daughter would tell me what goes on inside.
Did you say your daughter?
Yes, my daughter. My little Uma. She works there as a nurse. I'm afraid she left me. I suppose she got tired of living with a frail, sick old man like me. Because one day she simply left the house, and I haven't seen her since. It's been months now. I think she was right to leave me. These times are hard enough. You don't want to burn yourself with someone like me.
I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Help me, please.
Dozens of posters, all shredded, charred or half torn off. This wall must have been used for advertising before the Great Wave. One of them in particular catches my eye. Deodorants, restaurants, cosmetics, vacation cruises, they seem like messages from another dimension. A dirty window at ground level for ventilation. It's the only opening this building's basement has to the outside. Tomorrow comes today. There's something about the composition that's strangely familiar to me. Some memory related to my former life, perhaps? Or maybe it's just a memory glitch caused by the Great Wave.
Hello, friend. You look lost. Come over by the fire.
It's dying down, but maybe it'll last until curfew.
As long as those uniformed psychopaths don't decide to end our little get-together first, of course.
Hey, look! One of those magic bracelets from the camp. They say that place is a real hellhole. A kind of living death. So, you've come back from the dead. Do they call you Lazarus?
Well, you could put it that way. You were saying something about a curfew. What time does it start exactly?
Well, it depends on the mood of the soldiers in this zone. But you know it's time to go home when they start taking their guns out of their holsters.
Today they're extremely jumpy. I don't think it'll be long before they start insulting people and hitting them with their rifle butts.
You guys are awfully hard on them. It's just their crude way of showing us affection.
Oh, shut up. In any case, you don't have to worry. That bracelet means you don't have to hide from them. You know that's one of the privileges that comes with it.
And you? Do you people have to hide?
We try to stay out of their way. The first rule is be home before curfew. Anyone who isn't gets dragged off to refugee camp. That's one of the strictest laws the Great Wave imposed upon this city.
And do you know how things are elsewhere? Do you get news from outside?
I'm afraid not. With no communications or transportation, and with the army on every corner, we are totally cut off.
Who cares anyway? When you don't know from one day to the next if you're gonna be alive, There's no time to worry about what happens 100, 1,000, or 100,000 miles away.
I understand. Why are you afraid of the soldiers? I'd heard that things function better here.
I don't know where you heard that, friend, but whoever told you that was lying. Here, things are very ugly and getting uglier every day. Everything's in short supply: water, food, medicine.
We have a surplus of just two things: misery and violence. Life is cheap here, and getting cheaper all the time, especially since the army took over.
The army? I see. And what happened to the other authorities? The politicians? The laws?
Those are distant memories from the old world, my dear. Get them out of your head, because all that collapsed like a house of cards. Since the Great Wave, no one's got any plan, strategy. We're all adrift.
He's right. The most reliable thing we have left is what you see around the corner. Armed teenagers in uniform on the streets, on the rooftops, just as scared as we are, or more, and shooting anything that moves.
I think our common destiny is to finally die of starvation, of disease, or boredom. I don't know which of the three options I find the most cruel. Who knows? Maybe the most sensible thing is to organize a group excursion and break into Suicide Park.
Suicide Park? Don't call it that. It's not funny. That name's as stupid as that hospital they built in such a hurry next to it. It's crazy. The entire city is starving and sick, and the soldiers keep those medical facilities locked up like Fort Knox.
But what good is it having medical facilities if no one can use them? I don't understand.
No one does, friend, but that's the way it is. I don't know why anyone would want to go into that building, but I can assure you that they're not going to get treated for anything in there, not even for a miserable cold.
Besides, it's a real fortress. The person will be more likely to come out sick from an overdose of gunpowder and lead. You know how it is, dear. There's no cure for love or death. Hey, I like that last phrase. It would make a good opening line for a story.
Oh, will you shut up for once, Ramon? Don't pay any attention to him. In the old world, he earned his living writing stories, and he still thinks that all that waste paper might someday be useful after the Great Wave.
And in fact, it is. A good deal of that scrap paper is fueling this bonfire right now, dear. So I can consider my literary career to have been worthwhile.
Did you say Suicide Park? Someone in the camp told me about that place.
And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I.
When the sun departs from Suicide Park. Yes, I recognize the song. But what the hell is it? Is there really a place with that name?
Yes, it exists. After the Great Wave, and when things were starting to get really ugly here, the weakest among us eased their suffering with a bullet, by overdosing, or by jumping from high places. You know how it is. All those dark stars had a hard time finding a reason to go on living.
There was a terrible wave of suicides, and there still is.
The problem is at some point a problem arose. How should I put it? A serious logistical problem. Access to drugs and firearms became practically impossible. So the easiest thing was to grab a rope or a belt and go to Suicide Park after dark.
There was a time when it was hard to find a free branch anywhere in the park.
The suicides in the area multiplied at such a rate that the army closed down the park. They said for public health reasons.
For months, the only thing blooming in that park were the corpses of the hanged. The place became more like a theme park. Lots of fun for everyone.
I told you not to make jokes about that. Don't you have any respect for anything?
Of course not. That was one of the many things I lost in the Great Wave. And one of the things I missed the least, believe me.
Thanks for the chat.
Thanks for the company, friend.